Typically, when people complain about capitalism, what they have in mind is cronyism. Most of the complaints about unfairness, about the bankers and so on in Wall Street, they're complaining about the bailouts, the things that made the Tea Party members justifiably and legitimately very angry. We should be angry about that. But it's not free market capitalism that is responsible for bailing out firms that have done poorly. Those firms should go through bankruptcy or should disappear. The cronyism is, in my opinion, the problem. And people should indeed be angry about that. But that's why the Occupy Wall Street protesters, I think, are misguided. They're not getting it. They're profoundly, deeply confused. And cronyism is a feature of interventionism. When you have the power to redistribute goodies to other people, it pays to become your friend, or to determine who has that power, or to acquire that power for yourself. And that system breeds one intervention on top of another. So cronyism is a feature of interventionism. For this audience, I don't think I need to explain in great detail that our economy has a substantial amount of cronyism. There's not only positive sum games like in exchange, there's negative sum games of redistribution, but more common are, zero sum games of redistribution. More common than we like to admit are negative sum games, in which we're all made worse off because I'm picking your pocket as you're picking my pocket. And there are huge transactions costs in the process. And this last point here about diffuse costs and concentrated benefits is something that I do try to explain to students, and I usually hold up a packet of sugar as an example of that. Every time you buy a little bit of sugar, and I ask how many people here had sugar in the last 6 months, obviously all hands go up with the exception of a few diabetics. You're enriching a crony system, sugar cronyism. We restrict importations of sugar to benefit small numbers of cane sugar growers in Louisiana and Florida, and larger numbers of people who make sugar in the least economically efficient and most dunderheaded way known, which is to grow beets in the Midwest, because we don't allow inexpensive Brazilian and Caribbean sugar to come into the country. Each one of us pays a tiny fraction of a cent every time we have a cup of coffee with some sugar in it. But you add that up, it's a lot of money. People will invest in lobbyists and campaign donations and one-on-one meetings in order to get access to that.